I think we're live.
We should be live.
Hello everyone. There is no one actually watching right now, so we'll just chill here for a second.
I'm going to try and find our live feed so that we can actually not have to lean forward like a couple of freaks doing this.
Yeah, do that.
Anyway.
God, did I feel like I've got something in my throat. Did you just spray something in here? No? Okay. I feel like there's something in the air. Anyway. Okay, we've got people.
Ooh,
Hi everyone. Okay.
Early? We're 8 minutes
We are
early.
early.
Sorry.
Yeah, we just couldn't wait. Do you want to see if we
No,
can get the
it's
comments
big enough
there? No? Okay.
So hello everybody, hello Elle, nice to see you again. I haven't seen you for ages. Where have you been hiding?
Wow, there's a lot of comments coming in already.
Ah,
Do we have
100
people watching this already?
Bloody
Blimey,
hell.
you guys must have missed us.
So I'm going to just do some tech. Trace, you talk for a bit while I see if I can find these questions so I can scroll back and forth.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so hello everyone. We are in rainy Charleston today.
For the first time in a long while.
It's really... Well, the weather's okay. Like, it's still very mild temperature-wise, but it is very grey. It is rainy. It's a little bit cold. We've actually had the heater on today. So yeah, we're in the marina and just getting loads of work done. Nick has been working like a boss this morning.
Can't do it.
Alright, just try with the laptop. Yeah, making our cockpit cushions. So yeah, pretty pumped about that. He's been doing a
It's been
job.
a bit of a struggle today.
You've done really well.
But a big shout out to... Sorry, I will be with you in a minute. Trish,
Yeah.
just keep talking about...
Yeah, no, Nick's just... Okay, so we got like loads of comments, which is awesome, but I can't really... I'm on my phone and we can't really check on the phone because then I'm doing like this all the time. I'm trying to scroll, so we're trying... Because we're so professional, we don't know how to do these kind of things. So, anywho. Okay, so let me try and say hello to a few people. Okay, I just saw a question that we've been getting a lot of lately. Hello, everyone. About the video that we posted about the catamaran. Oh, this is better. We can look at comments here. About the catamaran that we saw. We saw an Antares 44, which we really, really liked. Everyone was like, oh my god, does this mean that you're actually getting a catamaran now? And the answer is no. The answer is...
No. They're nice catamarans. To tell you the truth, look, if I had to buy a catamaran, I would probably buy an Antares. But they are butt ugly. It's a really, really ugly beast on the outside. Beautiful inside, a bit like me really, and ugly on the outside. Or was that the other way around?
You're not ugly on the inside.
Well, it's a question of taste. Anyway, so yeah. So that's where we are.
Yes.
With that. So we're not buying a catamaran.
Yes.
So hang on.
So
You
got
take that,
the-
Serena. Oh.
How did I know that you would
Well, no,
lose
'cause I get bored-
patience?
I get bored quickly. They're up there.
I know.
Okay, so Mike DIY. I'm going to run through these. We are going to do. Someone asked, we're going to do a walk through the boat. We did one last year actually, and the
Yeah.
reason we didn't publish it is that we went away, and our hard disk crashed,
Yeah.
and we lost about 2 hours of footage, which was of which one of those things was the walkthrough. So. Couple of things that you lost, unfortunately. The walkthrough, which we can do again.
Yeah,
We
exactly. That's
luckily-
something we can do anytime.
And we lost probably about 70% of our bloopers.
Yeah, because we lost so much footage. There was a lot of bloopers that I had kind of earmarked, and we couldn't use them.
So anyway,
Which is sad. Anyway, okay.
I'm going to scroll down and do some of this stuff.
Oh,
My
okay.
hair needs to be cut. All right. So let's have a look. How was our summer off? Someone asks. Fantastic. Teresa, answer some questions. You do that, and I'll do this. I'll
Okay.
read some questions out there.
All right, so everyone, I'm going to find some excellent questions. There's loads of people. We've got people from California, from Tampa. We have. I'm going to face this way so that you guys can see me.
Okay, just stop a second. Chris, Megan from Sailing Doodles. I have been trying to get hold of her. Can someone contact her and say to contact us? I've tried to Instagram. So here's the thing. I tried to contact Megan through Instagram, but it's only like we've had Instagram for 2 years. I only found out about a month ago about the personal messages in Instagram because I'm a bit of a dickwit like that. So just be aware that I couldn't find them. So yeah, if someone can just contact Megan and say, look, if she wants to come sailing at some point, let us know.
Okay, so we've got Marie or Mary, I don't know.
You need to look up. If you keep looking down, you're just going to look like you're a bad newsreader.
Sorry, Marie or Mary, I don't know, from Missouri. Hello. We've got people from Orlando, the Jersey, Channel Islands. We have someone from Ontario.
Ontario, babe.
We have someone from Wilmington, North Carolina, which is very near where we are.
Hang on, whoa, stop. Megan, you are here.
Hi, Megan.
Right, Megan, sorry for we've been trying to get hold of you for like ages, but we're as rubbish as probably everyone else is on the interweb. So, yeah, listen, message us, just message us at some point. We're obviously not going to discuss anything here, but if you are here, and you are here, lovely to see you. Just, yes, PM us. There you go. I learnt a word, PM. You're laughing about.
Thomas is joining us from Switzerland. Hello, Thomas.
Do you know what? There are so many Swiss sailors, and you've got no sea.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Lake Geneva's huge, but
Super
anyway.
ADI is from Romania. Hello.
Is that Super ADI that lives in that works in a container? All right. Dennis Wayne says pee on us. Woohoo! So okay, there's a point I want to pull up here. Sorry, I have to keep touching this. So, Hiranu cow. Oh, this is about swearing and cussing. So this is it. The Swiss one, the Americans cut. Right. I kind of want to get this out there about swearing or cussing, I think is as it's called in this land. You may and you will notice from now on there's going to be a lot less cussing. Now this is not something that I do voluntarily. We are just going to have to bleep it out a little bit more. And the reason we've got to bleep it out more is because... where's all our comments gone?
Maybe someone has...
Oh yeah. YouTube have changed the terms and conditions, and I know that Bob from Doodles got hammered by it a couple of times, not for swearing but for other things which we should have to talk about here. But so we have to be really careful, and this is how it happened. Apparently Toyota vans or someone other like big manufacturer ended up being the advert at the front of an ISIS video. So they got a little bit jarred when Toyota or whoever it was ended up kind of sponsoring like the Islamic State. At this point, YouTube's like word are going to pick up, and this isn't get flagged. Anyway, so here's the thing. At that point, the advertisers all kicked off and said, "Well, we want far more control over what content goes out," and so YouTube caved, and now the advertisers have far more ability
Keep going.
to kind of change what we do. So here's the thing: we have to stop swearing. I'm going to carry on swearing because I don't think I can stop. Obviously, if I'm in front of people that are like not my friends, and you're all my friends, so you get to see this all the time.
Yeah, that's better.
Why are you hiding the chat? I can't...
Because now we can see it here. Instead of it flashing up on a screen that we're looking at, then
Right,
we can
fine,
see
fine,
it
fine.
in front of us, which I think makes more sense.
So
Anyway,
Brian, I'm just going to see Brian. Brian,
yes.
You found our channel on Friday and you've watched 26 episodes. Two things. Really, like, Doodles are amazing.
I had to bring that
SLV,
up.
there's D-Lost. They are also really amazing. Ours is just, we film this random life that we seem to have.
Okay.
Anyway, questions, Reese. Who's got a question?
Yeah. Any questions, guys? There are
No,
loads.
read some out. You just got
No. That's what I'm saying.
We're up to date.
Have a drink. Any questions you have for us, let me know. There are loads from Facebook the other day, which if we need to, then we'll move on to those. But if you have any questions for us, then please fire away. We've already answered the catamaran question. I hope to your satisfaction.
Okay. Someone asked about the Amel 55. I saw that pop up.
Okay.
Amel 55. I saw Amel put up an advert for the Amel 50. So I want to see that, and I asked the chap when he was there, and he said, "I don't know, well, we have one next year or something like that." So 55 is an awesome boat. I do love the 55. So here's the thing about the Amel 55. One, it is actually a pretty boat. The most amazing thing about the Amel 55 is it's a real sailor's boat. You go onto that boat and you're like, okay, this is set up for sailors by sailors. You go onto like a kind of a big Beneteau or, you know, these production monohulls, which are amazing and do everything perfectly. But there's a lot of sharp edges, there's a lot of unfinished fiddles, there's a lot of things that don't really make sense practically, like position of fridges, ice machines, stuff like that. Doesn't work like that. Amel, amazing, beautiful, really love the way it's all laid out, really do. And the sail configuration, I think the next, if I could choose a sail plan now for monohull, it would be a cutter rigged ketch with a stay sail in the middle. That'd be like super. Things I don't like about the Amel 55, I don't like the interior. I think it looks really dated, and I think they give over far too much room for the galley, and that's one thing that I don't think you need in a boat. I also think that...
That being said, I could definitely do with a bigger galley some days.
Okay. when you're demanding your dinner while I cook.
That being said, I feel like you could definitely do with a bigger galley
Yeah,
someday.
So that's the thing about 55. I have high hopes for the 50 because it is well built. I think this is the thing. We saw a lot of boats at the Annapolis Boat Show. Like, I don't know. We went on to like loads of cats, and those in themselves are one thing. What I would say about the ML 55, it's probably up there with my top 3 boats. The thing is that you have to kind of look to what sailing you're going to do and where you're going to spend the time. It's all right having like a massive, massive, massive galley, but who wants to spend their life in the kitchen? You know, you want to, you know, that's what you do at house parties and someone else before you end up throwing up in the bin 5 hours later because you've necked too much tequila. Again, another story. But what you want is a really good cockpit. As I said, you know, it's, what is it, Sunday afternoon in Charleston and it's piddling down with rain. Normally we'd be in the cockpit just enjoying it and the view's not very good, but most of us aspire to kind of go, you know what, I want to go and live, I want to sail where I see in the magazines. Now in the magazines you occasionally see some crazy bugger like in the Arctic, like up the mast. The sailing that you want to do is this kind of like champagne sailing and you want a nice cockpit for that. So for me, the most important aspect of a yacht is its cockpit.
Okay. I think you've answered the ML 55 question. Alright, so first of all, we seem to have
sorry, I forgot you turned the questions off. I thought we'd run out of questions.
No, we have definitely not run out of questions,
All
which
right,
is why I was
chicken
looking
pie.
at you as if to say, like, let's wrap up. Okay. First of all, yes, according to my little screen, we have 337 people watching us, which is, I think, a record for us, for our live feeds. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
If you wouldn't mind giving us a thumbs up, then that would be really awesome.
Yeah,
it will
'cause
mean
you-
that maybe we
yeah.
might get onto the main page and people will see us. And then people
YouTube
will
have
discover
really,
us.
I don't know what they've done. All our stats are out of whack at the moment. I think a lot of other YouTubers that we know and we've met have said that their stats are really strange and no one quite knows what's going on. And the guru, who is Casey Neistat,
Ooh,
said
200
so.
thumbs up. Thanks, guys. I think everyone just pressed the thumbs up button. That's
That's
awesome.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. You guys are very
I owe you all a beer. Okay, can I just deal with something else before we get to the next question?
Yes, please.
The Annapolis meetup.
Okay. Yes.
I need to deal with that. The Annapolis meetup was amazing. Anyone that was at the Annapolis meetup, 2 things. 1, thank you so much for coming. You were all fantastic. 2, I'm sorry about the end of the evening. I was so drunk because...
Hang on. We seem to. Oh no, we're back. I think. We seem to have frozen.
No, we're back.
And now we're back. Okay.
So, if that cut out because the signal's bad here.
Yeah, sorry.
I was so drunk at the end of the evening because everyone's like, have a beer, have a beer, have a beer. 60 people turned up. So that I didn't know, I think I had 60 beers. But what did happen is, I got to the end of the evening, had very little recollection of it, although at some point I started drinking rum and then it went downhill. So whoever I started shouting at over dinner, apologies. There were fish on the wall, I remember that. And I remember being absolutely paralytic.
Okay.
This is all your fault for buying beer. Enough. Questions?
Alright. First of all, I'm sorry about the poor connection. I don't know what to say about it. I'm on 4G apparently, but you know, I can see on the screen myself that it's all blocky. So hopefully it'll improve in a sec. Okay, so I think 2 questions that I feel like a lot of people are asking right now is first of all about our plans to sell the boat or not sell the boat, or what are we doing. I didn't really think about it when I put that episode out last Friday or whenever it was about when I showed the for sale sign and I made a reference to it, and it didn't click that maybe a lot of you guys are new to our channel or haven't watched all of the live feeds, which I don't blame you for 1 minute. But we have talked about this a lot before, so I kind of just, I don't know, I just thought that people knew, but people obviously don't know. So the very short version is that when we came to the States in June, we had a broker that we got in contact with, and we put our boat up for sale through him.
Internationally, we are not selling in America.
And we put the boat up for sale, and we have taken the summer, obviously, away from the boat. We've had a bit of space. We've been able to think long and hard about what it is that we want to do. And the boat hasn't sold, and we're extremely happy about that. So we're not selling the boat. We're keeping her. We're going to carry on sailing in this boat. But she was up for sale, and now we're going to
Not sell her.
so that's that. a lot of questions, which I feel like I'm very behind on, so I apologise. I'm so sorry. I'm going to try and catch up with them in a minute. In regards to our plans for this season, our sailing plans. Nick.
We don't know. There you go. That's it. Okay, so this is the thing. Like, we got loads of grief on YouTube the other day. We didn't get grief. Like, we put a video up and there's a couple of people who are, I almost swore. And they're like, this is so boring, go sailing. And I'm like, you absolute massive spoon. For you to say that, that's like getting a horse to run without stopping for like 4 days. The horse drops dead. Not the best analogy. Anyway, this is the thing, right? So we come to America after sailing for many months, and the boat needs work. Not just the seasonal work, there's also the work that needed to be done that when we were in the Caribbean, it's like, we can't find this, we can't find this. I went to 4 or 5 islands to try and find zips. And like, one of them was St. Bart's, St. Martin. I got them in St. Martin. So there's so many things where like, oh, we got to put that off until we get there to America. And now we are here, we've been back a week. Like, the fore cabin is like completely jammed full of things that I've had to buy to fix the boat. Not that the boat's falling apart, but for instance, things that need to be done.
Someone says, stop kicking the table.
I won't even kick the table.
Okay.
We need a new water pump. That's on order, should be delivered. I've got to put a new water pump in. We've got to change a couple of the bow thruster control. These are all jobs that will take a day because I'll look for a screwdriver, then I need to go something else, I have to get to West Marine. Anti-foul, this, that and the other. A lot of our canvas work needs to be looked at, so the sails need to be maintained. Life raft service. We had a really good day out with the life raft company the other day. Yeah, but you want me to start, don't you?
No, I don't. Someone says, here comes the Nick rant, and someone else says, I love his tirades.
You don't like my tirades, do you?
I do. I secretly do.
Anyway.
Carry on.
So there's a lot of work to do, and I think really, I don't know, if I was to do 5 or 6 hours work a day, I reckon I've got 2 months work to do. Because the thing is, also, it's just maintenance. Like, we had to varnish, like the companionway steps. They all, the varnish chips off. That ain't an easy job to do. Like, it's literally strip it all down, everything ends up with like covered in sawdust, and then it's 2 days gone. So, I've got work to do. We will be here for a while we get this work done. Back to the question that probably started about 5 minutes ago that I still haven't managed to answer.
And many people are commenting on your ranting skills and they really love it, so carry on.
This is what happens. See, yeah, I have a good rant. I had a good rant, yeah. I think I've got to the point now where I'm upsetting people with some of my rants.
Oh, guys, this is nothing. I mean, I'm glad that you're enjoying this rant, but as Nick maybe alluded to, they're not all quite so trivial in subject matter.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes. We're not going to go into the ranting points because some of you...
Because then he'll start ranting about them.
Well, look, there's 354 people. I think probably 51% of the people... there, see? See what I'm doing there? 51%... No, hang on a minute. Okay. 51% of our American audience will not like my rants. And we love everything about America. It's an amazing, amazing country. So, yeah. What was I
you were talking about our plans.
Shit, yeah, sorry. Sailing plans. We are going to head south. As in down. Florida, Cuba, Central America, and see how far we get. Here's the thing. I think the more you are a sailor, like if you kind of like in the big balance between I'm not a sailor, I'm watching YouTube to maybe want a sail, I'm watching YouTube because I've run out of smoky-eyed makeup videos to watch. The more you sail, the more you will understand that making hard plans for sailing is just a pointless exercise.
Yeah, and that's something that we definitely learned the hard way. And we thought that we were sailors before we set off. We were, but we just were weekend sailors, and we didn't have to make any plans for when we were sailing long term.
I am an international rockstar racing car driver astronaut in my mind.
Right.
Mini bit sailor.
Yes.
Professional surfer a lot.
Oh shit, no. Yeah, carry on.
Have your pants exploded?
No, I've got the loose thread. Two different things.
Your hips have bust out of your leggings.
I haven't been doing much exercise lately. Okay, so can I...
Uh-oh, I got the tap of death.
Donna, you have commented and you said, we saw you guys from afar at the boat show and we wanted to say hi, but we were in a bar and Teresa was moving too fast. So I'm really sorry that we missed saying hello to you.
The only reason
hi.
you were moving too fast.
Had I seen something to eat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You must have been hungry.
Probably. Yes. Okay, so, rightio. Any other questions for us, guys?
So we've got all the questions.
I don't think we have, but there's a lot of comments. I'm trying to get through them, but
You need to put listen, you need to put look, if I'm going to put this back on, then I can read it.
yeah. All right then. Let's try that because I guarantee you that you.
How do you unhide the chat?
There we are, and now you go. Oh,
Ta-da! There you go. Brilliant. See, I can see it now.
excellent.
Shit. Yeah.
Can you pick out a question out of all that?
Say hello from Brazil. Hello, Brazil. Sorry, it's all catching up. Nick, could you rant more? Hang on.
It's not catching up. That's just the speed that the questions are coming, which we really appreciate, by the way. Thank you.
Doodle stand. I haven't seen a doodle stand for you yet. Okay, what new gadgets you plan on getting?
Okay.
So, okay, Christy, you seem to be everywhere. I kind of like, I don't know where you are in the world, but you seem to, thank you, Christy, for like always commenting on everything, like, super
Sorry
fun.
for the poor quality again. I think it's because of weather, maybe?
That's the quality of our internet.
No.
Streamed from there. That is streamed from the boat, the marina internet.
Yeah, I know, but
So-
it shows, I think.
But that,
Anyway.
okay, firstly, Christy, thank you for everything. Merchandise, that's what I was about.
Yeah.
Ruby Rose merchandise. Ta-da! We started doing this stuff and it's going really well. And to tell you the truth, more than meeting our people that follow us, I don't want to say fans because it makes me sound like a complete arsehole. But so the t-shirts are really super quality because when we did our first meetup in Charleston, like we met a couple of sailors and we're like, oh, we've got SLG merchandise or some other merchandise.
I thought you just like had a switch kind of flicker on and off just then.
don't mention other sailing channels. We've seen other merchandise that's kind of low quality, so everyone's like, where are you getting it? Why aren't you bringing t-shirts out? Why aren't you bringing t-shirts out? So we actually went and found really, really good quality t-shirts. And so...
Okay, so here's a question for you. How much do you spend on repairs and maintenance? This is a question dear to our heart at the moment since we seem to be spending literally our life savings on repairs and maintenance right now. So Nick.
I suppose the thing is... Alright, so here's the thing. We've got a life raft service which has to be done. This is actually go through what I've spent in the last...
Yeah, this is a good question because this is kind of...
Okay, so basically if you look...
give you good examples.
If you look on the internet, everyone will go, oh, it's 10% of the value of the boat a year. That's bollocks. It's absolute rubbish. It doesn't work like that. I think it depends on the boat. Obviously, if you've got a $30,000 boat, you need £3,000. But so since we launched, anti-foul and all the associated bits that go with anti-fouling, so 2 cans of anti-foul, because you can't get away with one, that was the best part of, I think, $600 with all the bits, all the paintbrushes and stuff. That's the first thing. Life raft service, if we can get away with less than $1,000, I'll be surprised. We spent about $2,000 on Amazon.
I'm just going to get some lighting sorted.
All right, babe. Yeah, I got the seat to myself. You can't badger me for 10 minutes. So, Christy, yeah, the merchandise is selling is going well. People are buying the stuff. We don't actually make. It's like, I think actually.
Excuse me, 1 minute.
Deal said that. We don't make any
better.
money from it. It's just.
Okay.
This is the thing.
That's good.
And I wanted t-shirts or merchandise that I could wear that didn't look like sailing merchandise. I wanted it to look like surfwear because I'm a surfer and surfwear is always kind of cool, and sailing gear usually tends to be like meh. It's just it's normally a picture of a boat. So hence the design. The design is.
We do have a picture of a boat on ours.
Yeah, but it looks like a surf design. It looks like a surf logo. That's what it's designed for.
Okay, so Brian asks, I'm sure this has been mentioned someplace else, how long have you both been sailing? So Nick has been. I'm going to turn these comments off because.
Please leave it alone. I can't. All right, turn it off. Go. You read it out. You can be the comment meister.
That's what I'm doing anyway.
All right, off you go.
Brian says how long you've both been sailing. Nick has been sailing for
It's 12 years now.
12 years.
Yeah.
And Nick and I met 8 years ago, and that's when I started sailing. So that's a very quick and easy question to answer. Captain Scurvy, hello once again.
Kevin.
Yes, where is the beer? The beer is coming. I think it's only 4:20, so maybe not quite late enough for beer. I think maybe not.
So here's
not
the thing.
Quite beer o'clock.
This is just I need to tell something. It's got to the point in my life where I love beer. Like I really love beer. Like, but it's not good for my waistline. So I have got to cut down, and it's hard. Because I came to America in '99 and it was like, your beer is rubbish. I come back to America this year and I've been in between. Your beer is now amazing and there's breweries everywhere like Lagunitas, which there's a branch in Charleston, and the beer is just so nice. And then you have a bottle, and I went to the Marina shop the other day and like I'm like, oh, they've got a fridge full of like ales, and I'm like, oh, what ales are good? And he's like, try these 6, and I'm like, oh, here we go. So I've got to. I'm going to cut down on my drinking, only for my waistline.
We'll see how long that lasts. This is kind of a cyclical thing. Anyway, Peter, thank you so much. Very
Thanks,
kind
Peter.
of you. That's lovely. I didn't know that I enabled Super Chat on the thing. Obviously, I did. Thank you.
Just another thing I need to say
That's
to you.
really nice.
I need to tell someone a story about this chap at our meetup who I do not remember. Now, I'm going to preface this chat by saying this is not a hint in any way, and it's not meant to be some subtle thingamajig. Anyway, we get back to the boat, and there's a little bracket on the transom of our boat, and it's got like a bin bag, a Ziploc bag with what looked like a tissue stuffed in it. I'm like, what little bugger has stuffed that in there? Anyway, turn up at the meetup. There's a chap there who was wearing our t-shirt. He's like, did you see the Ziploc bag on the back of your boat? I'm like, why do you know that? And he's like, oh, I put $10 in it so you could buy beer. I'm like, thank you so much. That's really awesome. So thank you. I can't remember his name, but if you are watching this, thank you so much. That's a crazy generous thing to do, and really touching as well. I think the generosity of Americans is mind blowing.
Absolutely.
Like, you are all incredible. And the other thing I need to say is, Dan and
Kirsten.
Kirsten. Dan and Kirsten, when we came to Annapolis, some of our friends, they are now really good friends. I would consider them to be really good friends. Some of our friends, 2 people that follow us said, look, we've got a room in Annapolis. Do you want to come and stay with us? And we're like, shit, it could be just some weird ass. Turns out they are a absolutely amazing couple. They've got 2 beautiful kids, Xander and Ian. We had an amazing time with them, really amazing. So just a big thank you to Dan and Kirsten.
Okay.
That's when you shut up, isn't it?
Yeah. No, but not honestly. Thank you so much, Dan and Kirsten, because you really made our weekend. So I totally echo what Nick just said. It was you were so cool and so generous, and your children are lovely, and
your house is amazing.
Your house is beautiful. We really, really love staying with you
guys. And the dog called River.
Yeah.
Anyway, now we've done the Waltons on.
Okay. Feezies says, Nick, do you do any dentistry, even just emergencies while travelling, or is insurance too prohibitive?
I do it myself when I need to. Like if I break it, I've got emergency dental kit. The question is, no, I don't do dentistry. It's not to do with insurance. I am not registered anymore. I stopped my registration. But here's the thing, because I didn't want to get dragged into it. Also, the registration is really expensive to maintain, and I just wanted to move away. I would have to convert an entire cabin to a dental suite. You can't just rock up at a beach with like a kind of like a Dremel, a 6-pack and a kind of like a cash register and go, hi, I'm here, boys. Don't want like that.
Actually, that is related to another thing that someone asked on Facebook. I put a post a few days ago about any questions you guys want answered, and one of them was about doing like charity work while we're sailing.
So here's the thing. I think I probably would. If there is an organisation where I could go and work, I probably would take my registration up. If this kind of came to an end, I'd just go and like do emergency dentistry somewhere. The problem is that my initial thoughts were the USVIs. I'm not allowed to work in America. The one thing that America does is stop British registered dentists from going there, and I don't even think the BVIs are allowed to work there. I think it's one of these weird things. So yes, I would do it again, given the opportunity, and I think there's probably a lot of scope for going back to charity dentistry. I'd never do it for money again, not unless I had to kind of support my life. but I don't think. Yeah, I'd go and try and work for Médecins Sans Frontières or whatever it's called. You want this, don't you? I can see you
No, I
looking
don't
at it.
know.
Like an
By all means, keep it.
Angry
If
colour.
no,
I just
no.
saw Kezia there. So Kezia, hello.
Yeah.
Whether you're in Swansea or you are in Belfast or whatever. No, she's in Ireland somewhere. Come on, darling. Come on, ask a question.
Okay, so someone wants to know what we do about health insurance. Afghan 10.
We have health insurance. We have health insurance.
Oh, good night, Jim. Sorry, you've already gone.
Right.
Sorry.
We have medical repatriation insurance just in case we ever need to be shipped home. There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do some hellos because I feel like we've been bad at the hellos. So I'm just going to scroll up a bit and say hello. So I won't be able to get to everyone. But hello to Kurt, hello to Lane, hello to someone called Boo Boo who needs a root canal apparently. I'm sorry to hear that.
Okay there, boo boo.
Hello to Jamie James, who asks a good question. What's the most memorable thing you've seen in the States? It has to be the Crawfish Festival, surely.
No, it was the dog fancy dress party.
It's a tie between the Crawfish Festival and the Dog Fancy Dress Party. Although, you know what, I'm really excited because in Australia and the UK, Nick's checking on our cockpit because it's raining so hard. We don't do Halloween in our countries, and so we're really excited to celebrate Halloween here. I know that it's kind of, whether or not it's taken seriously is down to the individual, but for us it's like this massive spectacle that we're finding quite fascinating. So we're going to celebrate around our friends, Bo and Alison's, and kind of no, I'm okay, thank you. Okay, so hello to Robert. Robert Evans wants to know, as a shipwright and a sailor who wants to go offshore, could I find work? I really don't know. You could. How long you have to wait for it and how hard it would be to find and the legalities around working visas and all that kind of stuff, that's a whole separate issue. So, it's definitely possible. How easy it is, I really couldn't tell you. I would suspect not as easy as it sounds. John Marco
I cracked. All that talk of beer.
Says, are you going to go to the US West Coast? Never say never, but it's not on our immediate to-do list, just for no other reason than it's very far away. Is that not very nice?
I told you, you bought this, you drank all 6 of them. Try it.
That's alright, I could get used to that.
Well, good.
It's not horrible.
You go.
Okay. Lee says hello. Courtney, Bob Yandel, someone called Buffalo, Dennis, who just says, yeah, Nick, in capital letters.
I like Dennis.
Scott, hello. Anthony, Courtney, I think I said Courtney already.
Hey, there's a question.
And Joe the computer guy, who I've been chatting with on Facebook. Hi, Joe.
Okay. Anthony's question.
What's your thoughts on the Southerly 135, the 1997 version?
I think Southerlies are really well built boats. They are super well built. We tried to take a cabinet apart last week to see if we could get a second fridge in, and we couldn't get it apart. Literally, well, when you say we, I couldn't get it apart. I was there for 2 hours with this, literally screwdrivers, a miniature crowbar. They are super well built. All I would say to you is look at the maintenance schedule, because there are some big jobs with that swing keel that need to be done. So for instance, every 10 years you've got to drop the keel out and change the bearings and the rope, and it's an expensive job, so you need to know when that needs to be done. So the keel is another consideration. There we go.
Bob S, hello, welcomes us back, thank you. Wayne asks, are marina fees expensive in America and haul outs? I think it really depends on where you go. We pay, we're on a monthly rate here at the moment because we're going to be here for probably at least a month in the marina. $7.60. What is it per foot per month? I think it's about $11 maybe.
Yeah.
$11 something per foot per month in the marina, and then the boat storage was about the same, and I can't remember what the haul out was. Do you remember what the haul out was? I think about $400. I can't
cheaper
remember.
than the Caribbean.
It's probably a little bit cheaper in the Caribbean, but I suspect it really depends on where in the States you are, because I think that, probably Florida is a lot more expensive than, I don't know, like somewhere.
We looked into
kind of
this.
out the way.
Yeah, as soon as Florida is like super expensive.
Yeah.
Compared to here.
Okay, so
I wish I'd got more than one beer because it's piddling with rain and I got wet getting that one.
Subdriver says hello. Hello, Subdriver. Okay, so Grant asks a sensible question. Do you guys always have to obtain a visa prior to arrival in a new country or port, or can you obtain the visa on arrival at the port? It is exactly the same as travelling by plane, almost exactly the same in terms of visas, yes, except for the US. So far, and we've sailed in Europe and in the Caribbean and up to the US, we've done that loop. In Europe we were good because I'm Australian and Nick is British, so that's all fine. In the Caribbean, some islands are French or... no, just French, I think, that we went to. So again, they have European laws in terms of visas. Other islands, it was just basically whatever the local laws were. Yeah, no, I think, yeah, or Dutch. Anyway, yeah, we were on the Dutch side of St. Martin. Sorry, I had a brain freeze. Anyway, no, we have not had to arrange any visas prior to our arrival, and apart from America.
I'm just doing what you did, tapping you.
Oh, sorry.
I just want to answer this question. Have you finished? So have you kind of got to the
Yes, we had to arrange our American visas first.
Yeah, American visas. Bob asks, do you plan being regulars at the boat show circuits? Do you know what? We turned up at the Annapolis Boat Show with one idea of what we were going to do, and it turned into another thing. So we were going to turn up, buy some stuff, book round some boats, have a couple of beers, go home. We got invited to do the ocean sailing forum.
Yeah.
I would love to do the boat
cool.
show circuit now.
Yeah, that was really fun. I was really worried about it before because I don't know, I just had never spoken about sailing or boating or cruising or anything like this in front of like an actual live audience before. And it was, I felt quite intimidated, but I really enjoyed myself. And I think Nick, I mean, you can imagine Nick obviously was in his element.
Like a dog with two
yes.
cocks.
And we were with Paul and Cheryl as well, who are friends of ours. They have a channel called Distant Shores. They've been making television about their sailing adventures since, I don't even know how long they've been doing it, but a long, long time, since before YouTube. They really know what they're doing, so check them out if you don't already follow them. Steve, aka SV Doing It Right, says, do you have any source of income while cruising other than the videos and t-shirts? We don't rely on the videos at all, or the t-shirts for income. No. That's kind of that was when we started the YouTube channel, that was really important to us, that it wouldn't turn into kind of a money spinner that we had to rely on, because we wanted to retain freedom with it.
Are we allowed to talk about Patreon? Because I think...
Yeah, okay, so I've already announced on Facebook that we are going to launch Patreon.
I'm not sure what's about to come out of your mouth, because I'm not quite sure what we've decided about Patreon. Continue. I
was about to say, but we're holding back until we have the boat all ready to go, and we've actually started sailing. So
and I think this is easier to do on these live chats because it gives us an ability to answer questions. So just questions about Patreon. There are a lot of pros to it and a lot of cons to it, and I'm still not sure what I want to do. Is that a deliberate knock?
Yes.
As in shut up?
No, as in we've talked about it.
Alright. So we don't know what we're going to do. We may do Patreon, and the only reason we would do Patreon is to pay for specifically the stuff that we use or we've bought to film. I am very against turning it into a virtual begging bowl. Not that everyone does that by a long shot, and loads of creators use it to really make amazing content, but it's just what goes on in my head. It's like a rabbit in there just pulling controls.
Yes.
Anyway, moving swiftly onwards.
Okay, so someone called the Happy John TM says, your channel name is falsely translated into German. Thank you. Did not know that. You've given us a correct translation. I have actually copied that on laptop side. I have actually copied that, and I will be changing that ASAP. Okay. Now we have to do it this way. Okay. Christy says, would you... Christy, yeah.
Christy, babe.
I said Christy.
Oh.
Would you ever bring Patreon crew on board like other channels? I mean, as Nick said, the Patreon thing...
Yes.
We are still working out, clearly, as you can
But-
tell, because
Do you know what? I've seen it the way it was done, right? And the nicest way it was done was just, I think Delos did I think, here's the thing, right? If I was to say, like, anyone want to come crewing, everyone would be like, yeah, there'd be like hundreds of people because, you know, everyone wants to crew and, you know, we'd like to see, I don't think we've met anyone that we haven't thought, aren't these amazing people?
Yeah.
They'd be our friends. And it's fantastic. You have to kind of try and put some filter into place, and Patreon is kind of a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
However, you know, for instance, Dan and
Kirsten.
no, it's not Kirsten.
Kirsten. Sorry, we say that name wrong, differently in
No,
Australia.
it's spelt wrong. It's spelled differently. It's spelled anyway.
Okay.
So we
Sorry.
we just
Sorry,
invited
Kirsten.
them sailing. They're just such lovely people.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we will take crew, and I think the way forward, we will take crew, but I don't think it will be a Patreon thing. I think it's going to be like, if you want to come crew in, just make sure that you're not a lunatic and come crew with us.
Yeah. Okay, so you two
Hang on,
rocks,
I'll get
says
the Bolloking.
Samuel.
Who did I get Bolloking?
Ramses.
Ramsey's dad. Why is he so bullying her, restricting
face.
her free speech? Not nice, not nice.
Two sad faces, and also like a little like sideways.
No,
sad
I want to
face.
explain. No, before we move forward, I want to explain to Ramsey. Ramsey, here's the thing, mate. We have about 60% of this of our battery left, and we've been over 41 minutes. And we kind of have a little rule before that we start that, and it's normally actually backwards. That she taps me and says, "Shut up," because
Yeah.
you're banging on about stuff. So we try and move
Except that
quickly.
Nick doesn't do the subtle thing where he's like, "Oh, I've just been tapped. Okay, I'm going to wrap up." He looks at me and he goes, "Did you just tap me because you want me to shut up?"
Yeah.
So
So-
I've learned the hard way that
Well,
tactic doesn't
But
work.
she just has a pair of like dividers under the table that she sticks in my leg.
Okay, the Nordics met Paul and Cheryl in Southampton. Yeah, they
Just a
are
little
really,
briefing.
really nice. No, because I want to scroll rather than
Okay.
have it like all kind of. Okay, so
Oh, yeah, someone says,
quick
"Wait,
question on shore power and electrical appliances. I believe your vessel is European. Yes. Do you have issues when connecting to other countries' powers? Yes, we certainly do.
Okay, so here's the thing. We are 240, and you can just rewire the plug, your shore power plug, to run on a 110. And this is like there were so many questions about this. Like before we kind of got to the States, do you need to buy a step down transformer?
Yeah.
Something really incredible. Go to an American marina and ask for a 50 amp plug, which they all have, and you get 240.
We have had problems getting the plug before. To be fair, we have had issues. I think in Turks and Caicos or somewhere.
Turks and Caicos is British. It runs on
Okay,
220.
somewhere else. Then?
Anyway, the only thing the only device that we have found that does not work on 220 is, or on the 60 hertz, is my hair clippers. That's it.
Okay. The video's dropping out. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought that when we got to the States, the internet would be better, but apparently it's not.
It's probably 100 there. Okay. Yeah, the RV place. We got our thing in Puerto Rico.
What are you talking about?
I should answer Kezia. Yeah, we covered. We don't know what we're doing this year. We're going to go south. Someone says, Pauline, good morning from Hobart. I love Hobart. I love Hobart so much. I used to go to Hobart
You did.
regularly. My ex was from Tasmania.
He's obviously got a thing for Australian girls. MV Rachel B says hello from Texas. Hello. Where are you guys heading when you're ready? Says sailing Dijon. Yeah, as Nick said, we're heading south soon. So Craigust Smith says, I think it's an so this is why I don't like to have it like that. Yeah, our stance on e-begging. I don't know, like, this is a tough one because I think that there is very, very open to interpretation. I think that, you know, I know firsthand how much work goes into these episodes. I think I said to a follower the other day that I would estimate that maybe about 10 hours of work goes in per episode, and I would say that probably about 5 hours of that is editing, and then probably about 5 hours of that is doing things like just all the social media stuff, replying to all the comments, which we do enjoy doing, of course, replying to messages on Facebook, you know, our Facebook feed, our Instagram feed, like all the social media stuff.
It's turned into a full-time job.
It's a job. And it's a job that we obviously enjoy doing, but I also don't think that it's wrong to want to get some kind of monetary payment for that. And also, obviously, we've invested a lot of money into.
For me, it's the investment.
Into
And
the
we're
channel?
down about five. I think
Yeah.
we've spent about $5,000.
Yeah. So when it comes to like the
And
investment
stuff.
of
fact, more than
money
that.
and investment of time that you put into the channel, then kind of getting a little bit of money back for that, it does turn into treating it like any other kind of work. So yeah, there's like a fine line between just getting what you, I don't know, like kind of deserve to get paid for the work that you put in, and also, but then like, is it begging? Is it like asking people to subsidize your very enviable lifestyle? Where's the line? And I think that line is very
Well,
grey.
hang on, here's the thing. I think a lot of people that we've met that follow our channel, and I'm going to just, can you remind me to talk about like followers? Because you use the word followers in a minute, right?
Okay.
So here's the thing, right? A lot of people ask us questions because they want to do this, and one of the biggest questions and our biggest hit video is what the costs are.
Yeah.
So we can't represent effectively what the costs are if we're asking the people who want to do what we do to pay for our lifestyle. That's kind of like a pyramid scheme. So I don't ever want it to reflect, for us to need the money from you good folk to keep doing what we are doing.
No.
And otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
We set off to do this. And realistically speaking, another question we got on our Facebook page is, why do you do this? Like, you're not making money out of it. Why are you doing it? Here's the thing. We just needed to occupy our brains.
Yeah, it's like an ongoing project for us.
Thanks,
we enjoy
Kristen.
it. Okay. Sorry.
So, there used to be a YouTube button for tips.
Really?
No, someone actually just gave us $20 for a beer. So
Yeah.
it's still there.
Yeah, thank you.
Nick, Rolling Stones or The Who? I'm going to play the Stones. Kevin. So here's the thing. Because I play guitar, I play a Who track as well. But I played 2 Stones tracks on 1 Who track. There you go. So it must be the Stones.
And Rod from Australia has just bought his first sailboat yesterday,
Woot
so
woot.
congratulations.
Tell us what you bought, Rod, so that we
Yeah.
can kind of like
Tell us
ogle at it.
more. What's your thought on copper coat, Nick? Yes, this is a question that we had on our Facebook page.
All right. So
Day.
I have, strange enough, I have an opinion on copper coat. Sorry.
Sorry. Please, by all means.
Okay, it's hugely expensive, copper coat. For people that don't know what copper coat is, it's an anti-foul that has to be put on in a certain way. It's crazy, crazy expensive, but it gives
How
you...
much is it? Do you know?
I don't know. I think to copper coat at the bottom of a boat is about £3,000 in the UK, so probably $4,000. Anyway, I came from the East Coast, which was a drying mooring, and if you get copper coat and you put it onto a drying mooring and it sits in the mud, the copper coat doesn't work. That's the first thing. Secondly, with a lift keel, if you dry the boat out, it will damage the copper coat. Thirdly, doesn't matter what your anti-foul is, you have to pull the boat every year anyway, or you should be inspecting your hull while it's dry. You should be looking at your anodes out of the water, you should be looking at your impellers, you should be looking at your seacocks, you should be looking at your skin fittings. And these things, yeah, you can dive under the boat with a mask, but sometimes, like we had a little crack in our rudder, we would have never seen that left in the water. So I think that it is good and a safe thing to do to pull a boat out of the water at least once a year. And while you're doing that, do the anti-foul, because you're going to get marine life no matter what you do. Anyway, move it on.
That's Nick's thoughts on copper coat.
Nice one, Rod.
No Job says it's already banned on the West Coast. Really? Copper coat? An Olympic 40.
Don't know.
Brilliant. I don't know what that is. Sorry. Do you know what that is?
No.
Yeah, one of the channels just paid $10,000 for a copper coat and a bodged dog. Are you talking about Britican? I don't know.
Okay, the thing about copper coat is it does need to be applied in a very certain way, and one of my best friends, John, who is a shipwright and works in a boatyard, says that essentially you have to grip blast the hull back to just about, almost to the bloody epoxy to get it to stick. The preparation is everything, and it does have to be done. When we had this boat built, I talked to Subtly because it was an option which we just didn't have the money for it, and Then I did the research, and basically the current thinking is that if you are going to copper coat, you do it as the boat is built,
Why is that?
because it's never had a coat of anti-foul put on it.
Okay.
So there's nothing that could probably cause a reaction for it to come
Right.
off or to not adhere. So I think if I didn't have copper coat, there's nothing that would make me do it.
Holly wants to know what type of battery bank we have.
All right. So Holly, we have lead acid. We do have lead acid, and we have lead acid for two specific reasons. One is the cost. They are so cheap, and thus if a unit goes wrong, they are easy to replace. Two, the lead acid that we have are of a certain shape. They're Trojan T105s. They are 2 inches taller than your normal batteries, and they're 6 volt, which means I can fit a lot more battery power more into the space that we have available. Given an infinite budget, I'd go lithium.
Why? Go on.
Just because the way that they work in a nutshell, they don't weigh much. Weight is never really an option, a problem on this boat. You know, Teresa's got 2 sets of dumbbells. 2 sets of dumbbells on this boat.
And I want to get another one.
Yeah, exactly.
They weigh nothing compared to the weight of the keel
All right.
and the hull. And
But
the
you can
float.
you can discharge them to like 20%, which gives you a far greater usable capacity. In all fairness, the best video I've seen on this is Gone with the Winds. They did a really, really good video on different types of batteries, which I think was brought out about 6 months ago. So if you go to the Gone with the Winds website and have a look at what they've said, it's nothing groundbreaking. You're not going to hear anything else. But yeah, they are. I'd go lithium. You know, if like my numbers came in and they're like, you just do whatever you want with this boat, put a bowling alley in it, lithium batteries.
Okay, Laredo says, have you thought about adding transducers to control marine growth and extend antifoul life?
The problem with transducers, they need to be powered, and powered means that if you're at anchor, you've still got a problem. And while in marina, you know, there's a bloke that comes down this marina scraping holes for money, so I'll do that.
Yeah, some poor bloke, his job is to scrape all the holes, and this water is like, I would not want to be jumping in this water if I didn't have to.
Yeah.
And yes, Brian's reminded us, Gone with the Winds did a solar video as well.
Yeah,
they do a lot of infomercials. Informative videos.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely check them out for any information about that kind of thing. Okay, so what's the average lifespan of the batteries in our sailboat? We actually changed them last year. Last year? Yeah.
Is it last year? Last
Yeah,
June?
no, it was.
It's almost 2 years.
Yeah, so that would have been 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
It depends. Put it this way, if you look at a lead acid battery, it will tell you somewhere on the battery normally how many cycles it has. So depending on how many charge cycles, but it's also the depth of the charge cycle. If you do a really small discharge and charge, then it lasts longer. It just doesn't like being discharged deeply. For all those sailors that are going, oh yes, I agree fully, brilliant. For those who are like, what the hell is he talking about? This is the way it works, right? Battery power, 100%, and then 0%. You only get about 50% of your usable power that you can use for battery. So when you start using your battery, your power goes down like this. And then when you start charging it up with solar and things, it comes back up like that. So that's called your charge cycle. And it can go up and down like that. That's a big cycle. If you've got, like, for instance, renewables like solar and wind, so that you're just discharging a little bit, so you don't discharge that much, your batteries will last a lot longer.
Charles says, would you consider an electric motor?
No.
So
Let me just quantify that, because it's why I wouldn't consider. Is it RAN that are doing it, or UMA?
Uma have done it. They've got an electric motor, apparently.
Here's the thing. I think you need an electric motor. You need a motor in a boat that you can fix with a hammer, right? A hammer, a strap spanner, a couple of spanners, and gaffer tape. Diesel engines, while they are filthy, they pollute. You can get one fixed in Vanuatu or whatever it is, or like some crazy little island. That's the first thing. So they are easy to fix. And if I go to, for instance, like an anchorage, and I'm like, Christ, I've just lacquered my last Yanmar fuel filter because I've been stupid. There's a good chance in an anchorage of 30 boats, someone will have a spare. That's just the way it works, because that's the norm. That's the first thing. Second thing is, it's all fair while having an electric motor, but those things need a hell of a lot of power you can't run it all the time. There's no way you've got enough solar or anything on a boat to run that like a lot of the time. I know that our bow thruster draws 500 amps. I know that because I can see what our battery monitor does. So here's the thing. There could be times where you are caught in a wind, like just an area with no wind, mid-ocean, and your weather routing service says the reason you are in a wind is because there is a really strong depression coming down and it's just sucking all the wind out. Get out of that area and go 300 miles south as fast as you can. There's no wind and you're like, all right, fair enough. Or you're stuck in the middle of the ocean and someone breaks their leg and you're like, electric motor's not going to do it and there's no wind. It's literally the way that I sail and the way I was taught to sail and the way I was always sailed is to do the safest thing for myself and my crew. Everything else secondary to that. And so while electric motors may be the future, I don't think that if I was to think about the draw of one of those things compared to the batteries that you will need, I cannot see the technology being there to reliably give the power, the performance and the longevity of a diesel engine for 50 years. That sounded quite intelligent. Oh, you know, I'm a beer. Anyway, next.
Any major refit plans before you set off this season? Well,
Yes.
kind
We
of.
touched on it before.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of work to do. Nothing major, but there's a lot of canvas work that
Well,
needs
the
to be done.
fridge.
We've got to put a new fridge in. There's a lot of different things we need to get done. So I reckon I've got 6 to 8 weeks of work.
Best guitar strings for a sailor. You told me in Charleston, but there was beer involved. What a shocker.
They are nickel. This is what I found out, that you get nickel coated strings because anything else that's not nickel coated, I've got Ernie balls on mine at the moment. Nickel don't rust. There you go.
Bowwave Paul says, do you have a water maker? Yes,
Yes, we
we
do.
certainly do. Wouldn't be without one ourselves, but I know a lot of people don't have water makers. But yeah, we find it really convenient. Can you talk about how, Ruby Bob says, can you talk about how the boat handles heavy seas and bad weather? What's the worst storm you've ever been through on her?
So here's the thing. We used to have a little production Hans. And she was a lovely boat, but she was too light to be comfortable in heavy seas. Now here's the thing. If I wanted to be in any boat, in a boat that I wanted to handle heavy weather, I would go and get a canoe sterned ketch that I could heave to in, that was semi-long keeled. That is brilliant because as soon as you can heave to, everything's okay. This boat handles well in heavy seas. In following seas, modern boat design means that she has a really flat transom, so you could get breaking waves and you could get the stern slewed round. So that could happen. Realistically, the offset for that now is that the technology and weather routing is so good that you would probably be given at least 2 or 3 days notice of weather and be able to get out of the way. So that kind of links in with my previous point of being able to get out of the way of bad weather with an engine if needs must.
Okie dokie.
See you later, Bob.
See you, Bob. Thanks for joining us. Cheers. Motivate Wretched Beast has donated $10. Thank
you.
you. That's really kind. Thank you so much.
Well, Dread Doctor, just to point out, Dread Doctor says fuel isn't that expensive really. You try filling up in Turks and Caicos, mate. You know, it's like, it was eye-watering.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, you know, your diesel engines need diesel and air to work. So as long as you've got diesel and air, the thing will work. If it doesn't work, there's either a problem with the diesel or the air. It's normally the diesel, which is either your filters are clogged, there's water in them, or there's some pollutant in them. And realistically speaking, they need water as well for cooling, sorry. So basically, as long as you've got cooling water, you've got, so it's probably you're going to be your impeller, it's going to be something to do with your cooling system, something to do with your diesel intake or air. There you go.
Dread Doctor, that's an interesting username, says, do you really use a thruster much on a 38-foot boat?
Yes.
Curious, yes. Because
we have twin rudders, and so we have no prop walk on our boat, which means that in close quarters she does not handle. We could not. The problem with twin ruddered boats is that there is no close quarter handling ability in marinas. Literally, because my last boat, prop walk, you just give it, blip the throttle, the thing will turn. It doesn't. This doesn't. So yes, you do need. even if you had a Southerly 32, which is the smallest one that they do, you would need it. You really do need a stern thrust, a bow thruster.
Yeah.
There you go. Next.
Any plans to go through the South Pacific? Says someone whose name I've just lost. Sorry. Anyway, Nick.
I can't remember. Yeah. We are going sailing. When I started sailing, someone said to me in the marina bar, "Never tell anyone you're sailing around the world. Just tell them you're going sailing. We are going sailing. All the while we are enjoying it. I will continue to sail. If we start thinking this is just not doing it, we won't do it. We'll just stop doing it. But we are. The plan is to go that way.
What about hybrid engine, diesel and electric, Nick?
Again, I don't know enough about hybrids. My thoughts are that, for instance, I had a Lexus years ago that was one of those hybrids. The battery bank that was required was so big that it just didn't. There was no advantage to it. You don't think about weight. I just think the technology's not there. And as I said to you, depends what you're doing. We have some really good friends, Tony and Heather, that had one of those rotating kind of pods
Yeah.
to kind of send the boat sideways in marinas. Bloody thing broke in the middle of nowhere, and no one could get it fixed apart from Beneteau. They had to fly a Beneteau engineer out, with a decent Yanmar. I mean, put it this way, say for instance you were in some South Pacific island and you're like, oh my god, the engine is broken. There's nothing. You could probably get an old Ford engine and put it in there and get something working. It is about simplicity on boats. Like I said, if you want to just dot round between Monaco and wherever, do what you want. If you want to circumnavigate, go to somewhere where there is a good chance that someone in your anchorage will have the spares that you need, just in case you, for whatever reason, do not have them.
James says, how did you like storing Ruby Rose and Charleston versus Antigua? We're actually talking about this a bit today. I think that they're two. It's really like comparing.
I don't like this beer.
You don't like it?
No.
Do you not have your own beer? You've got your own beer.
What happened was, I was getting wet because it was raining.
And you just made it like an emergency grab.
It was a stress decision.
Yeah.
But I don't like wheat beer.
Okay. Well.
Anyway, back to sailing.
Yeah, they're so different. Antigua was great because when we got back, we were already like in the tropics, and we could, as soon as we got the boat back in the water, we were able to go out to the anchorage, and we were just like back in this kind of idyllic, beautiful tropical island, and it was lovely. Here we have to obviously make quite a journey to get back to the tropics, which is where we like to be. But on the other kind of on the other hand, we are very close to lots of cheap, very well stocked supermarkets, so life is easy in that respect. We can drive anywhere, get anything we want. We can go to Walmart, we can go to Target. God knows we've taken advantage of the fact that we have delivery, so we have been ordering all of Amazon pretty much. So the convenience factor is really high here, and also like the culture here is really cool. We love being in Charleston. It's a very, very cool city, which really suits us well. There's loads of live music. Obviously the beer scene, the brewery scene is...
I think if you had to ask me to make a choice...
And the food scene is awesome as well.
I'd choose Charleston. I'd choose America to store.
Yeah, I would as well. It just makes life easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Vegemite or butter?
That's not a choice. You have
Vegemite
Vegemite and butter. Are you concerned about the Hurricane Deborah in the waters of the Caribbean this year?
Not at all.
No. I mean, I'm more concerned about the kind of damage that's been done to the islands.
William Kaiser. Mm-hmm. What is the next boat if yours sells? Don't know. This is the thing. Look, we've gone...
Can I just say a very big thank you to SV Enchantment. That's really...
What a nice name for a boat.
Yeah, it is
It's
actually.
like something out of Cinderella.
It is, yeah.
Thank you. SV Enchantment, thank you for that. When we meet you on the water, we will repay you, because we'll buy you the beers or whatever non-alcoholic beverage substitute you require. We've gone through a massive process about boats, what to buy, what not to buy, and we actually seriously thought about it because we put the boat up for sale. Now, what we've come to the conclusion is that the perfect boat for us at the moment is this boat, and here's the reason why. I've come up with another one of my unifying philosophies. So, 505 people watching this at the moment, hold on to your hats. I don't have a koozie holder, so I'm actually using a sock.
What is wrong with you? Yeah.
Thank you.
What happened to our koozie holders?
I've actually got one here. So here's the thing. There are lots of sailors that sail like full time, like 12 months of the year, and go round and round and round. But then after a couple of years, they're like, I just can't do this anymore. There are certain aspects of my life, my family, my job, my money, that I need to have back. And we have found that a lot of our friends have stopped. I think we're some of the only couples, we're one of the only boats left that we knew of all our friends when we set off that we met on the way through the European coast. So that's number one. The other thing you can do is do what a lot of sailing couples, families do, and stop for a period of time and go home and travel and do other things, because sailing is hard. I think this is what we try to do with this YouTube channel. There is no point in trying to point out that this is all amazing. It is an amazing, amazing lifestyle, and I would never swap it for anything, but it is hard on you. There are certain aspects that you struggle with. You struggle with, like, just sometimes, you know, not being able to find, in some islands, food, you know, constantly looking for spares. So you get, I suppose the best thing I can give you is burnout. And occasionally we get these things, we get comments on YouTube saying, oh, why are you such a miserable bastard? It's like, because we've been stuck here for 4 weeks waiting for a part. There's no food on this island, and it is difficult. So you need to take a break. My thoughts are that the only way you can do this in the very long term is to take significant breaks from it. Which brings me back to the next boat. This boat is small enough to haul and store without accruing massive amounts of debt. Because if we had a 50-foot catamaran, we'd be paying 3 times as much in storage fees.
Yep.
Next.
Someone asks why the twin rudder.
Teresa asked this the other day. The reason we have twin rudders is we have a lifting keel. And if you have a lifting keel, you have to have twin rudders, otherwise you can't dry out. Because if you had a short single rudder in the middle of the boat, you would broach left, right and centre.
I knew that bit. I did know that bit. David says, hello from Melbourne, looking forward to the next season. Excellent. Sermo says, did you install the bow thruster after the fact, or was it standard
It was one
option?
of the only options that were the only things that Southerly... There's only one of the options that Southerly put on the boat, because they realised that you cannot even use the boat without it, so it came with the boat.
And what's the advantage of twin rudders, as Nick said, when you're heeling over the rudder
You can't
bites?
broach.
Yes. Pity about the Chaser story. Yep, we think that it's a
Just to think about Chaser story, just because we've got 550 people watching this. We love Tasha and we love Ryan. I don't think I want them to put their things out. For those of you that follow them, you kind of know what's going on. We're not going to comment. They're good friends of ours, so don't ask about them. They always have our best.
Okay. Sorry if you touched on this earlier, says Mr. Wan's World. Where do you get music for your videos? We get music from epidemicsound.com. So, yeah. Teresa, what's the black thing on the wall above you by the window that's flashing? Black thing on the wall above you by the window.
It's a third GPS backup unit for our other 2 GPS backup units in case we have a problem with GPS unit 1 and 2.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Someone said, do we motor... He said, stop that. Other way. Okay. The Harley Hub says, would you say you motor 50% of the time? I suppose last season we did, and this is the reason why. If we are going between anchorage and anchorage, we normally leave the anchorage when our batteries are low, and the best way of charging our batteries is alternator, which gives us 80 amps. So last season we used the engine probably 50% of the time. The season before we crossed the Atlantic, we used the engine an hour a day for 3 weeks.
Radio Billen says, what do you think of SLV plan to sail to Svalbard and the Northern Arctic Circle? I wish them all the best. I'm looking forward to
I want
those
to answer that
videos.
before you click up on that. We don't know SLV. I think, and this is my statement about SLV because we get asked about this a lot, I have nothing but admiration for them. I think that what they have done is probably save sailing in their own way. Between SLV and the America's Cup, I think that they've dragged it out. It's a dying sport. You look at anything, I'm English obviously, but you look what the yachting press come out with, it's people just aren't getting into it, or they weren't getting into it, and it seems to have a little resurgence, and people like SLV are doing an amazing job at promoting that outside of sailing. That's the first thing. Second thing, about going up to Svalbard, I don't know their plans. I wouldn't do it in that boat. I wouldn't. I just, it's a little bit like trying to get up the Rockies in a Ferrari. You can do it, but you kind of want a Hummer. That's what I would say. Those cats, they're fast, they're amazing, they're brilliant, they're really airy and spacious. You can do 20 knots in them. You want to go up there in a Halberg Rassi. So then if you get stuck or your engine... So here's the thing, right? You go up to Svalbard and you go, we're going to do the summer cruise. It'll be June, July, August. You go up there and then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, fuck. I've managed to blow one of the engines up, or we've hit something and we're stuck here for 2 months. And then all of a sudden you're in Svalbard in September, and then you've got a problem because they've got no diesel heating on board that I know of. You have to prepare for, obviously you can overplan, you can plan for contingency, but my thoughts are, if you want an Outremer, which is an amazing performance cat, use it for what it was designed for. You want to go up to Svalbard, go and get the Jimmy Garcia, whatever it's called, the Jimmy Cornell Garcia 45, which looks like a bloody German U-boat with a mast on it. Ugly thing. But that's what I'd use to take up there, or bloody Halberg Rassi with a wood burner in it, or a nice diesel stove, and one of those jumpers, and grow a beard. Enough. Next question.
Okay, Steve has very, very kindly gifted us a tenner. Thank you so much, Steve. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you.
Answer this question because it's a really good one from Monty Montaro.
Yes, I was about to. Thank you.
I'm going to drink while you talk.
Teresa, how confident are you in your sailing skills? If the old man dropped a crossing, would you be able to complete it solo? This is a question that I obviously spend a lot of time mulling over because it's a question of safety.
She cuts my tethers.
Yes.
I've left a couple of rats in your tether box. You may find it slightly frozen. Box of tethers.
I mean, yes, there is no doubt that I would be able to get the boat from A to B if obviously I had to, as I've made this point before, perhaps not on the YouTube channel, but you can do anything that you need to do if you're in a situation where you absolutely must do it. So if we have some kind of sailing emergency and it's the two of us on board, then Nick will clearly take the lead because he is far more experienced and knowledgeable. He knows this boat inside out. He's installed all the systems. He knows everything that there is to know about this boat pretty much. So clearly I would be following his lead. If we had that same situation and I was on board by myself, I would do my best. I probably wouldn't make the best decisions, but I'm certain that I would be able to still get the boat and myself to safety. So yes, the answer is yes. I'm very confident in my sailing skills.
I just need to add something to that.
Why am I not surprised?
Not about you, but it's about crew on boats and long passages. And I think that sometimes the thing about just sailing short-handed is that sometimes, I suppose for those of you who've got children who are watching us, and you remember going into work after a night when the kids have been up and you've not slept, your decision-making process is buggered. And sometimes after a couple of days at sea, when the weather's been bad, your decision-making is really, really bad. And I think that it's all fair and well for me to kind of, I don't know, say for instance I was knocked unconscious for 2 days.
Yes, let's not pretend that you actually went overboard.
No, say for instance she had to get back and she was 3 days away from port. She wouldn't be able to sleep for 3 days. Neither of us would. And I think at that point, it's all fair and well. She could sail this boat perfectly. She could, the mechanical side and getting it fixed, if the engine packed up and she had to get in, she'd be stuffed. If I was unconscious, she couldn't.
Do we have any books on board that might help me? I have to sit down and read a book.
Yeah, the ABC colouring book of how to fix a Yanmar diesel engine, volume 1 through 6.
Surely we've got fixing
I'll
diesel engines for dummies somewhere.
No, we don't.
Do we not?
No.
I had hoped that we would have that kind of book on board.
I think there's some stuff in the almanac.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure that I've read that stuff before. So.
Anyway,
Anyway.
the point is that short-handed, if one person becomes incapacitated a long way from land, it's actually the sleep deprivation of the person that is left, and then the stress of the worry of the person, you would really have problems. Even with a good autopilot, it is a different. I would say that the difference in stress between, say, 3 crew to 2 crew is immense, and then 2 crew to 1 crew is even bigger. So I think that offshore passages, long ones, more than say 3 to 5 days, I don't think we'd ever do it with that crew now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hence, so those who are paying more than £6,000 a week on Patreon, join us. That's a joke for those who just joined us.
Brad says, how do I donate like the others above? Maybe someone's already answered this question. I don't know. There should be like a super chat button. I think it depends on kind of the device that you're watching this on, but look for the super chat icon, or like maybe a...
And if you can't find the super chat icon, Brad,
Also totally fine.
Whatever you were going to give us, go down and buy your wife, your girlfriend a bottle of wine and have a lovely Sunday evening in, and don't bother watching us.
Okay.
Okay, so the Harley Hub says backup parts for everything, even your toilet. You don't start me on Jabsco. Me and Jabsco have had a...
Don't you have to replace something to do with the toilets though?
joke about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harley, I'm too down. Like 4 down, and I'll be like, yeah, with the
This is turning into a reenactment of our meetup in Annapolis. And actually Charleston, it was the same, exactly the same. Have you tried a pressure cooker for canning? No, I haven't.
Here's the thing.
Here's
Bob.
the thing.
Here's the thing, Bob. You can use a pressure cooker for canning. I would be really, really, really dubious about it. Number one, because you're essentially making a bomb, and number two, if you get it wrong, it's like, I know that Delos have got a still on board, but if you get that wrong, you can really stuff yourself up. Like with like things like botulism in cans. You know, anyway. I wouldn't. So you can do it.
I don't think canning is a high risk activity.
Going to my
Totem can. She wrote a whole blog on it. She cans meat.
Yes, you can.
She can. She can.
Yes, we can. Maybe that's what Obama meant.
Oi, oi. The red alert says, do you tend to follow the weather seasons when you travel? Yes,
Yes.
of course, like any sensible sailor.
Thank you for running my waistline. This is my second beer in 2 days.
Yeah, and he'll get up and go for a run tomorrow morning as well. Do you have an opinion on the Dominican Republic? Nope. What kind of opinion were
Only from what Noonsight said, and Noonsight said that it is a lot of bribery required.
Okay.
JPK is go back now. Someone says, is predict wind feasible for offshore? All the GRIB files you get are from about 3 different organisations, so as long as it's based on GRIBs, yeah.
When was the last time you went on to Noonsite?
I think I was on there last week looking at some particularly difficult passages in Polynesia.
I didn't even know that you knew about Noonsite.
Yeah, it's right next to my Tinder subscription.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, I know. 559 people watching. That's just insane. That is like more than double than what we've had before. So obviously you guys have missed
Okay, just
this.
a quick recap because people are coming on.
Yeah.
We are not selling the boat, someone's asked. We put the boat up for sale, we're not selling her.
Someone else says, WTF is this?
This is us.
This is
Yeah.
us.
Do you know what?
We live on a boat. We're sailing around the world. We make YouTube videos about it, and go and check out our
And
channel.
it's also the first thing I think to myself when I wake up in the morning. What the fuck is this?
What the hell is going
What
on
is
here?
this?
Yes. Okay.
Oh, is that one of our regulars? Marie Morrissey. She's always like, hello.
Okay, so Rob Brother says, just want to thank you. You got me interested in sailing when I retire, and now I have to convince my wife to do it. Well, all the best of luck.
I know how to convince your wife to do it. Take her on a lovely charter holiday somewhere amazing.
Is that what you did with me?
No.
Nope. Took me sailing around the east coast of the UK. I think my very first sail was crossing the Thames estuary in like 25 knots of wind.
I know. What can I say?
I don't know.
Boo Boo.
We're beating into it, by the way.
Keith Floyd.
Oh,
Keith Floyd. He died, didn't he? He died ages ago.
I think I just got some kind of notification up. Anyway, yeah, are you going to bring out new merch with the logo? So here's the thing. That's amazing.
No, hang on. What is going to be?
So here's the thing.
So here's the thing. You got this. So here's the thing. I'm going to just picture myself. So here's the thing.
Yeah, that is definitely a Nickism.
Look, if you ever meet me, can you not start the discussion with "so here's the thing"? Because it will go thin really quickly.
And I have to live with it every day, so you know.
You look like Justin Bieber. That must be Teresa, because I don't like Justin Bieber.
That's definitely not a compliment.
I'm Mac Crack One.
Was
All right, there we go.
see now your hand is doing
sorry,
this.
sorry, my little chicken pie.
Okay.
Now,
Damien said, was there a complex visa process to leave your boat in the US?
no, it's a cruising permit which expires. We've got to get out by March.
How often do you fall out and how do you deal with finding your own space? Nick, why don't you answer that question? I knew you would anyway.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to plead the fifth on that.
um,
This is why we need a cat to hold. Like, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Although now that you've made cockpit cushions, nice new cockpit cushions, then you have your space that you can go to when you need some alone time.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you can see me.
Joking aside, of course we're like living in each other's pockets, so obviously, we get on each other's nerves sometimes, but I think in the main we've been relatively successful. At least we've not split up yet. Also, I thought.
Actually,
Oh, really? Okay. Alright, I think that we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes.
I'm happy to keep talking.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe I have to think about my data.
You've got like 12 gig.
I definitely do not have 12 gig.
You've got, stop being a tight ask.
Are you taking the thorny path all the way back to the Caribbean? I think that of all of our options, that's probably the one somewhere down the bottom.
Mm-mm.
No?
I think the only thing, I think the only, look, someone asked us about this.
So here's the thing.
Someone asked us about hurricane relief for Irma and everything else, and I have, strangely enough, some quite strong views on it, as I have strong views about most things. I think that the only thing that would take us back to the Caribbean is if we were doing hurricane relief. And my thoughts are that unless it's an orchestrated effort that is kind of overseen by people, I wonder how much help we would actually be and how much of a hindrance we would be against that. Yes, of course you could take your own things, but I don't want to be... I think if we did it, we'd have to shut down the YouTube channel. I think that's what we'd have to do.
Why on earth would we have to do that?
Because the one thing I do not want to do is film.
Yeah, like kind of profit off of other people's
disaster. It would just, and
Yeah.
even if you're like, well, all the money we get is going to hurricane relief, you're still filming and getting your subscription rate up by watching people, by just trying to be like the altruistic people that are rebuilding people's lives. I have so much admiration for everyone who is going to go to the BVIs, the USVIs, Puerto Rico and help in the relief. I will very quickly wane from that position if I see it on YouTube, because it's not going to help. You are just doing it to... God, I'm going to get so many angry comments on this.
It might help.
So I think if we go to the Caribbean to help with relief, we'll have to shut down the YouTube channel until we're finished.
Okay, so someone asked about our someone asked... I've lost it. Doesn't matter. Sorry. Let's carry on. I hear a rant coming.
Yeah, sorry about that, mate.
Yes, well, we got through it together, guys, so, okay. I feel like maybe we should wrap it up. It's been nearly an
You're bored.
hour. No, I'm
You're
not.
bored. Okay, fine.
I'm not at all bored. Why would I be bored?
I'm just getting started. All right, listen. We'll wrap it up in about
I'm just
10 minutes.
worried about my
let's get the
data.
last...
Yeah, any burning questions that you guys have?
Yeah, just we'll
Please.
do some last questions.
Yeah.
Black Canary's bored.
Well, you can press the back button, Black Canary, and go on your merry way.
Black Canary.
Do you plan on returning to work? Okay, I'll answer that question first. Not in the immediate future. I mean, obviously, one day, we take things one day, 1 month, 1 year at a time. We try not to have plans that are too set in concrete. Patrick, I'm sorry, you've asked this many times, and I've seen it and then I've forgotten. Thoughts on our marina in Charleston?
Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Very happy.
It's a bit isolated, but America... Look, we're used to being on little islands where we can walk from a marina or an anchorage or a dinghy dock to the shop in like 5 minutes.
Can't do that here.
Here, it's like...
Got to get the car.
That's just America. Big
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
Red Doctor has asked this a couple of times. Boat name and logo. Someone asked this. The boat name, Ruby and Rose. Ruby was my grandmother. Rose is Teresa's grandmother. They are both sadly no longer with us. It just seemed a very...
apt.
Yeah, apt. The logo, again, the circle one, which is the one I'm wearing now, it was, I wanted to make a logo that kind of looked a little bit like surfwear because I'm a surfer and I like wearing surfwear, and I didn't want something with just a bloody cutout of a silhouette of a ship.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No,
There are many people
I just wanted
who
something
do
different.
that. Someone whose username I just Spin Dreams says, I took your advice and bought a boat smaller than I wanted, but so I could buy now, not later. Thanks.
Do you know what?
That's
I
amazing.
love hearing things like that. People
Yeah.
actually listen to what we say.
We better be careful about what we say then.
Oh, so Dennis says, I love the shirts, you two. Thank you. Look, I'm glad you like the shirts.
Dennis,
As I
did you
said,
buy one of our shirts?
Did you buy our shirt? Which? Okay. Firstly,
They
what,
are very good
what
quality.
just because for people that weren't watching this an hour ago, we chose a lot of t-shirts that weren't scratchy and nasty, and we put a lot of effort into choosing stuff that was going to last, look good and feel good.
Yeah.
So they're really high quality shirts, which basically so people don't go, well, this is just you just profiting, and we make so little out of the t-shirts. But I kind of get a kick from meeting people that are like, oh, I've got your shirt on.
Favorite bar in South Carolina?
We don't. So here's the thing, because we have to drive everywhere or
Yeah.
Uber everywhere, we can't drink that much. We can, but we don't.
Yeah, so we have to take into account the cost of an Uber if we're going out.
So Dennis, you love your shirt as well. Dennis, tell us what shirt did you buy? We had the stats from our t-shirt girl, and she said that apparently the indigo was the most the indigo one.
And the white.
I love the indigo one actually.
Yeah, I that's my favourite. Oh, this is what happens.
The Harley Hub says, Thailand seems like a cheap place to live. Will you be heading that way? We have met a lot of cruisers that go in their off-season to Asia just to bum out.
I don't think that's what he meant.
No, we take the boat there. If we go to the Pacific, absolutely. Here's the thing. I love Asia. Like, I could go and live there. Bali is one of my favourite places on earth, and yeah.
Okay.
Someone's retracted a message.
Maybe they misspelled something. Okay, how are the charges, says Loch Harlathan, for living on the hook? Our sailing club naysayers are saying about being charged for anchoring instead of picking up mooring balls. Budget is our biggest consideration. Okay. I mean, when you're at anchor, it's really only if you're anchored in like a national park or somewhere that... I don't know if we've ever paid for anchoring. Have we ever paid to anchor?
It does exist.
Yeah, I know. I know that in the Exumas, there's a couple of places of national parks where you have to pay a fee.
Look, all I would say is that we cruised the Caribbean for 2 years.
Yeah.
If you go down to the southern Caribbean in the windwards like Grenada, there's a lot of kind of hobo boats there. That is an amazing community, because I'd rather be drinking and smoking with the hobos than being stuck with the 50-foot arseholes. But they live on nothing, so that is a real thing. When you kind of get to Antigua and then go into the Leeward Islands, because it is set up for a different thing, and there are a lot of American boats that come in who have a very different way of thinking about sailing. There's a lot of retirees that want a lot of different things. So it is there, we found that, say, from Antigua to St. Bart's we had to pay for anchoring in St. Bart's actually. We went
Oh, did we?
Yeah, we did.
It wasn't much. How much was that? Do you remember?
It's €10 a night.
Was it?
Yes.
To anchor?
Yeah. So you do have to pay. It depends on the area. I would suggest that if you are worried about doing that, the cost of it,
I mean, St. Bart's was an expensive
the
place.
Windwards is a better place to go.
Yeah. I mean, but that being said, you just pick and choose your place. Paying to anchor is rare, so you can easily avoid that. And in terms of mooring balls, the only place where we went to where we absolutely really had to pick up a mooring buoy sometimes was the BVI's, and honestly that was more because they were so deep, the anchorages were so deep rather than they were so full, because there was no, like, the depth was like, well, I don't really think about depth in terms of feet, but it was like 15 metres plus.
45 foot. Devon says, put the multicoloured t-shirts up on the store. All the coloured shirts are on the store. You just click on the thing and then pick your colour. Every shirt is available in every colour. I bet my wife you would acknowledge the cupboard queue. What does that mean?
Maybe it was a previous comment that we missed.
Alright.
Sorry if we missed that. Enjoying the random chat splattered with common sense. I think that is the
That's my
absolutely
epitaph.
best description that I've ever heard of conversations that we have.
So-
that you have.
My finest rant. in recent history. This was at the meetup. I'm getting this secondhand because I don't remember it. Because of all the awesome people that fed me beer at the meetup.
He's blaming you.
Yeah, all of you. I was so drunk I could hardly talk.
Yeah.
So we go to, I can't remember who it was. He went with someone for dinner, and literally I was kind of like, am I going to spew on the plate? I was trashed. And then
Yes, he was.
something happened, and I just went to this mad diatribe.
Yeah, he just came to life and started ranting. It was, I really wish that he'd just stayed silent, but there we go. Are we going to go sailing with Bo and Alison again? Bo and Alison have bought a house. They are the very proud and happy owners of a new house, a very beautiful house, so I don't think that they have any sailing plans.
Although we
for
hope
the
to.
moment. I mean,
We hope to. We'd love to have them crew for us. They're
Yeah,
just
we've
an
asked them to
amazing
crew
couple.
for us. They would like to come out and meet us, so yeah.
Yeah, we hope to see Bo and Alison on the water again.
How did you choose a date when you first cast off the lines? I don't know. Well, we chose like the first day, I think, of spring because we just knew that it would give us hopefully nice weather. And then we had to delay the actual leaving date for a couple of weeks because of weather.
It's weather,
Bad weather, I think. But we
Literally,
said like spring.
When Orion's, while we tied up all the loose ends,
Yeah.
and then left.
Yeah.
Kyle and Carly. Is that the sailing salty kisses?
What?
Devon Rose, Nick bought my wife and I a beer. Did we? Fuck. That's pretty cool. Devon Rose, hang on a minute. Are you the married couple with the diabetic cat? See, everyone's got these kind of strange names, haven't they?
Yeah, I know. You don't know who anyone is because they've all got strange usernames.
So Devon, hang on, she had a thing that said, hang on a minute, they had 2 film star names. Scarlett Johansson. Really lovely couple.
Yes.
They came for us. Yeah, so anything I said that was inappropriate, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Do you estimate the impact of Brexit? Yeah, do you know what? Yes, it's going to be an absolute problem.
A problem.
A problem.
A big problem. Okay.
Teresa wants to go. She's had enough. I can see from her twitchy
I've
ways.
not had enough. I'm ready to have a snack.
Oh, Lewis won the Grand Prix. That's pretty cool. I knew you'd hungry. Go and get yourself a snack.
Also, my data is going to run out.
I'm getting a kick under the table. All right. She who must be obeyed
Yes.
for the time being has dictated. So we really need to say goodbye to you. We have been going
Yeah.
for 90 minutes, and while I could happily join you all for a beer and come up with my manifesto, which will last for at least 3 days. Do you know what? This is what, Ed, I'm not going to get into this with you. Once we've got
Okay, you know what? You keep going by yourself. I'm going to go.
Get a snack. All right, say goodbye.
All right.
No, let's say goodbye. But look, thank you so much for watching. It's been amazing. We hope to be back soon. Any questions? In all fairness, it's slightly easier. I don't need to prepare questions because I can normally bullshit through most things. But if you've got anything you want to ask us, come to our Facebook page, and yeah, we'll see you again soon. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Apologies for those that didn't enjoy it. There's some amazing makeup videos and RV videos and other stuff, or how to kind of sous vide stuff.
Along with pretty much anything else you can think of. All right. See you later. And thanks for joining us. And we will see you next time. Now I have to work out how to stop this thing.
Answer me, please. Who says that? Oh, Jack. Hello, Jack. Sorry, I don't know what your question was. Sorry. Goodbye.